Golf is a sport that is often associated with prestige, discipline, and fair play. However, just like any other sport, golf has had its fair share of scandals over the years. From cheating to doping, these scandals have rocked the world of golf and left a stain on the sport's reputation. In this video, we will discuss the top 5 golf scandals that have shocked the world. Number 5. Tiger Woods' infidelity scandal. Tiger Woods is arguably one of the greatest golfers of all time, but his career was almost derailed by a scandal that came to light in 2009. In November of that year, a tabloid newspaper revealed that Woods had been having an extramarital affair with several women while he was married to his wife, Ellen Nordegren. This scandal caused a media frenzy, and Woods' image as a family man and role model was shattered. Sponsors began dropping him, and he took a break from golf to deal with his personal life. The fallout from the scandal was significant, but Woods eventually returned to the sport and continued to play at a high level. However, the scandal will forever be a stain on his legacy, and it serves as a reminder that even the most successful athletes can make mistakes. After the crash, Woods' life fell apart. Women ran to the media to share their stories of having affairs with the most famous golfer in the world. They just kept coming. Vanity Fair says they included waitresses, nightclub hostesses, escorts, a lingerie model, and adult film stars. The seemingly perfect father of two was living quite the double life. ABC News reports that sponsors abandoned Woods and his standing with fans fell quickly. To do damage control, he gave a 13-minute statement. His wife did not attend, to say he had screwed up. He described his behavior as selfish, entitled, and irresponsible. He announced that he was going to sex rehab. While sponsors and fans eventually mostly forgave him, his wife divorced him, and his golf game still hasn't recovered. Number 4. Greg Norman took breaking up to the next level. Divorces are never pretty, but it's possible to remain civil even when you add fame and ridiculous amounts of money into the mix. Not so with Greg Norman, known to fans as the Great White Shark, who went through the messiest divorce golf had ever seen in 2006. Norman's first wife, Laura Andrassi, sure didn't think he was very great when she found out he'd been cheating on her, and according to the Herald Sun, it wasn't just with any rando, but with the couple's very close friend, tennis star Chris Evert. The Normans were close enough with Evert and her husband that they went on a vacation together, which is when the affair started. When Andrassi found out, she left Norman and fought for her share of the 11th richest Australian's $500 million fortune. The Telegraph says his lawyers argued she didn't deserve much because she didn't teach Norman to swing a golf club, and that he basically had been the one who raised their 2 children. But after a year, she was awarded $100 million. Still, the drama doesn't end. She claimed Norman was dragging his feet on paying her to make her settle for less money, that he had changed the locks and cut off her credit cards. Norman countered by saying she was exceedingly well-funded. Number 3. John Daly's gambling addiction. Happy Gilmore was not realistic to anyone who actually followed golf. There was no way Adam Sandler's fictional antics could shock fans who were already intimately familiar with John Daly. You couldn't miss Daly on the golf course. He was the big man in the ridiculously flamboyant outfit, playing very well. But off-duty, he was known for his hard-living lifestyle, his excessive drinking, 4 divorces, and above all, gambling. Daly was good enough to win obscene amounts of money playing, and he didn't mind losing at gambling. But the numbers are truly staggering. Before he sat down to write his 2006 autobiography, SB Nation says Daly thought he might have only lost about $20 to $25 million. Then he went through his tax records and discovered it was more than double that, in the $55 million range. It was such a huge part of his life he dedicated a whole chapter of the book to the history of his addiction. Perhaps the saddest story was when he won $750,000 at a tournament, then went straight to Las Vegas and lost $1.65 million in 5 hours. But USA Today reports that even when he won at the table, he didn't always manage to hold on to it. He once had an argument with his 4th wife about his gambling, and he had actually won that night $65,000. But because he was mad at her, he made the totally logical decision to throw it off a bridge. Number 2. Phil Mickelson's insider trading scandal. Phil Mickelson is famous for his lucky escapes on the golf course, but that was nothing compared to what he managed to get out of in 2017. Despite being involved in a three-way insider trading scandal, in which the two other people ended up in court facing long jail terms, he managed to walk away from it all unscathed. It all started because of his friendship with Billy Walters. Walters was a famous Las Vegas gambler who moved on to be a kind of unofficial bookie, and other gamblers, like Mickelson, often owed him money. Another guy who placed bets with him and was therefore often in his debt was Tom Davis, a board member at Dean Foods. His position meant he was privy to information he legally had to keep quiet. The government says as a way to pay Walters back, Davis came up with a little insider trading scheme. Strangely, around the same time, Walters' friend Mickelson suddenly started investing in Dean Foods as well and made almost $1 million. It appears Walters was passing on the insider information to the golfer, making him part of the illegal scheme. But because there was someone between him and the source of the information, Mickelson wasn't brought to trial. This, despite the fact he said he would plead the fifth so as not to incriminate himself if he was called to testify against Walters. Having money must be so nice. Number 1. Casey Martin's lawsuit made it to the Supreme Court. Golfers can be pretty sensitive about their sport being, well, a sport. Not every game is sporting after all. Golf wasn't added to the Olympics until 2016, and the fact that it's known as little more than a good walk spoiled doesn't help matters. Some chess players probably have the same heart rate mid-match that golfers do. So golfers passionately tried to hold on to the one part of the game that was at all sporty, the bit where you walk around. Sure, amateur golfers who play for weekend fun take carts all the time, but when it came to participating in professional tournaments, you had to do the legwork yourself. Until 2001, anyway, according to Time. Casey Martin was very good at all other aspects of golf, but because of circulatory disorder, walking was very painful for him. He sued for a change to the PGA bylaws that would allow him to use a cart between holes. Golfers were divided on if he deserved the accommodation, with greats like Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer saying the ability to walk the course was an essential part of golfing. The case made it all the way to the Supreme Court. A 7-2 decision came down on Martin's side. The majority pointed out that walking is meant to fatigue the players, but since Martin was already naturally fatigued, it was an even playing field and covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Golf may be a sport that prides itself on discipline, fair play, and integrity, but even the best players can be embroiled in scandals that threaten to tarnish their reputation. From cheating and doping to personal and financial improprieties, these scandals serve as a reminder that no one is immune to pressures and temptations of competition. Golf, like any other sport, must be vigilant in upholding its standards and ensuring that players are held accountable for their actions. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comment section. If you enjoyed today's video and found it interesting, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to be up to date with the latest content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon in another video.